What's happening, Shredder Nation? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to episode number 82, I think, of Living the Shredder Life. I'm your host, Jesse James Jamnik. I am one of two Shred ambassadors. I am your Shred health coach. If we have not met before, hello, how are you? This is actually really exciting, but I can't keep up with the amount of new people that are constantly coming into the group. So before I start tonight and give you my 3 tips and a special bonus of certain things that I do to live my most optimal shredder life every single day, because I believe this is what this is all about, is living our best optimal life. And I believe health is our greatest wealth, which is what drives me every single day. So, shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. If you're on and you remember what I was just talking about, drop into the comments and let me know. Also, while you're there, drop in, say hello, let me know where it is that you're coming in from. Tonight, I want to give you 3 tips that I personally use that I've learned over the years. I was thinking the other day and I was like, holy crap, like there's so many things that I do every day that I don't even think about. Like, I don't even think about anymore because they're so second nature to me and they're so habit for me that I'm like, wow, I think people can benefit from this stuff. And that's what I want to do. I want to start putting out short little things. So tonight we're going to keep this short. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to go for a max of 30 minutes. So stay with me. We're going to get some good information. And here we go, right? So tip number 1 that I want to share with you guys is on electrolytes. I can't tell you how many times I've been in our group and I hear people go, oh, I'm struggling with energy, or I don't know how much water to drink, or, I don't feel full. Especially when they're first starting. And I want to tell you that a lot of this is mind games. And a lot of this really has to come down to, hi, Susan. Hi, Melanie. A lot of this has to come down to your electrolyte balance. Funny thing, there's 75% of people that are actually dehydrated. And what people don't realize is that even a small percentage of dehydration, like I'm talking like 1%, 1.5%, this can lead to really bad situations in daily life. Serious dehydration. I mean, you're talking dehydration can go from a simple headache all the way to hypothermia. And it's really, really bad. And there's also something called overhydrated. And I think we need to really understand what's the balance, what is it that we're looking for, and how can electrolytes really help me. Now, I'm going to throw a wrench in some of your plans, and I'm going to kind of shock you for a second, but I'm just going to be totally transparent. I very seldom drink regular plain water anymore. Oh, I know. Hear me out for a second. Our water supply today is some of the most disgusting water that we've ever had access to. Now, I'm also no fool. I studied clinical nutrition. I've lived this for 20 years of my life. I'm going to be a nationally board certified health and wellness coach by the end of this year. I'm not telling you that water is not good for you. What I'm telling you is it's just something to be aware of. Our water today contains over, I think it's 30 different toxins. 12 of them are really crazy. You're talking everything from lead to PCBs to stuff that was used back in World War II that's leaked into corroded pipes, that's leaked into our soil, that's leaked into our water supply. So thank God we have filters today, and we all have access to filtered water. However, what most people don't understand is that you can filter out pollutants, but you can't filter out what's called forever toxins, or once what was thought to be forever toxins, because once they get into your body, they get stored into your fat cells. Your fat cells are very oily. They love these kind of toxins, and boom, 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 your body stores them in there. It was once believed that we couldn't get rid of them. Not so fast. Mr. Jackass. I don't know, it just rhymes. Not so fast. We now know that through things like what we do with cellular intermittent fasting, when we convert our body, when we learn how to become fat efficient, and we can utilize our stored body fat and break it down, when that process is happening, the oils then get released into our bloodstream. That's why it's so important to have a nice, healthy body. Medications, yes, Susan. So your body can then take those toxins, filter them through your liver. Your liver is supposed to be working the way that it's supposed to. Most people's is not. And then you go into this thing. Okay, so that's that. Okay, that's the preface. Now, here's the deal. I still drink water. Of course, I drink water. You can only go a couple days without water. You can go literally almost a freaking year without food if you have enough skeletal muscle. So what do I do? How do I fix this? Now, what people don't realize is, first of all, what are electrolytes? So electrolytes are essential minerals that are actually characterized because they have an electric charge to them. And what they do is they help the body perform really important key functions within the body. So you can get these through food. You can get these through drinking them. Hydrate. This is why I fought for hydrate at the beginning of this. And I was going to seriously take out a sword and chop somebody's leg off if hydrate did not get into this protocol, because electrolytes are that damn important in my world. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, chloride, phosphate, all essential electrolytes that I do not need you to underestimate them, because these things balance the fluids inside of our body and they determine the amount of water that's actually stored into our cells. So we always hear of like dehydration when we're working out, we're sweaty. Those are all things. This is where the whole myth of that bogus drink called Gatorade came into the market of, we're going to replace your electrolytes, but we're going to give you as much sugar to dehydrate you at the same time. Like, you don't need that. You need the electrolytes. So it's really, really important to make sure that we're consuming these. So I see a lot of people asking, well, how many hydrates can I drink? This is my personal opinion. You can have 2-3 a day. If you're somebody who lives in a really hot climate and you work outside and you're sweating a lot, you're an athlete, you're constantly pushing your body beyond the normal limits and you're sweating, you're losing electrolytes. You're taking the chance to cause minor dehydration, which is then going to make your life not so fun. So drink your hydrate. Now, you don't have to be an athlete to benefit from hydrate. Electrolytes are for everybody. They're for everybody because electrolytes actually help conduct nerve impulses inside the body. And they also stimulate muscle contractions. So they're essential. They're essential. That's why they're essential minerals. They're essential to every single person. So the electrical charge simply means that it's carrying electrical impulses to things like our heart, to things like our lungs, right? Like our brain, not our lungs, our brain, our heart. Like that's the electrical charges. That's the balances, right? And again, the water inside the regulation of water inside your cells is also important. The right amount of electrolytes also, yes, spark plugs, Susan, spark plugs. The right amount of electrolytes also helps balance pH levels inside the body. So that keeps the blood level at a stable pH. Remember, the body always wants to be in balance. This is one of the reasons why some of us are here. We have thrown the body so out of balance over the years through bad choices and poor lifestyle, and the body is just all messed up. Your body wants to be in balance. Your body wants to feel amazing. Your body wants to perform at peak optimal levels. You were freaking designed, you were created to do that, but you got to give it the right thing. So the imbalance is really important. Now, what do I mean by imbalance? Like what that means is your ratio, when you are dehydrated or overhydrated, okay, your ratio of electrolytes to water is simply off. That means that you either have more electrolytes inside your cells with less water, or you have more water inside your cells with less electrolytes. Each situation is going to cause different problems inside the body. I know as a competitive ultra marathon runner, I have been dehydrated before in extreme conditions that I've put myself through. And it's so bad that like my quads start to like literally shake and seize. I mean, so bad that I can barely even take a step. And I got to like rub, all sorts of like menthol and peppermint oil, and I got to stretch it out, and I got to pound an entire bottle of my sports drink to get as many electrolytes in, because the muscle cramp is the imbalance that I've created. I have more water in my body than that. So dehydration is really not a thing that you want to be. Overhydration, like I said, can cause cramps, headaches, vomiting, cloudy thinking, diarrhea. I mean, you're just talking about not good things. So I would just highly, highly recommend that you enjoy your hydrate, especially in the ER shred lifestyle, especially in the beginning, when we radically strip back the amount of carbohydrates that you are putting into your body is going to dump the sodium that it stores. So when you're fueling your body on glucose and loads of carbohydrates, which is what majority of the population is doing, your body is storing massive amounts of sodium. And especially in the first few days of this, when you strip those carbohydrates, if you want to prevent what people would experience and say as the keto flu, it's not the keto flu. It's an electrolyte imbalance. So use your pink Himalayan sea salt. Make sure that you're drinking your hydrate. Do not be scared of the salt. And I just want to take 1 minute to crush that myth real quick. This is my cinnamon tea for the night. Hold on. More ways to get balance. My electrolytes, more ways, always with me. The problem is this: in the mass media, in marketing, when they do studies and they talk about sodium, you have to understand that the amount of added sodium that is in processed foods today, that's the scary shit. Like if you're pounding ridiculous amounts of processed food, you're consuming 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 milligrams of processed added salt, which is not mineral salt. It's just flavoring because the industry knows that you're going to become addicted. If you're doing that, yes, 100% wake up. If you're using, Redmond's or pink Himalayan sea salt, mineral salt, you're getting minerals back from that. It's a nutritional aspect to your life. And again, in this lifestyle, we're not, we're no longer served by donuts and potato chips and pretzels and loads of alcohol and all kinds of shit that's going to damage our body. So don't be so scared of the electrolytes when you're using them properly. And when you're putting them into a regimen and a protocol like the 11-day protocol, it is essential. It is essential for your body. Your body needs it. It's just in the pharmaceutical doses that we're consuming today. That's where it gets really, really dangerous. That's where you got to be like, whoa, hold on a second. This is not going to be good. And that's that. So that's my thing on electrolytes. I want to give you another tip. I want to talk about coffee real quick. And don't worry, I'm a coffee lover. In fact, I'm a coffee snob. I just got the most amazing pour over set where I just pour the water. I create the flume for 30 seconds. I do it again. So have no fear. However, over the past year, I have come to realize that I have become so addicted to coffee that actually when I thought about it, I was like, shame on you, Jesse. I mean, I was literally drinking coffee. Are you saying we should still use Amped? I don't know which Amped is a line. Amped is the name of a line. It's not a product. So specifically, which product are you asking about? Caffeine is extremely beneficial when used properly. What I've come to realize in the world of health is things are blown out of proportion. Things are always magnified. And what we have to realize is that when we use common sense, when we actually remove our heads from our bums and we actually think about something for a second versus just do, which is what gets us in trouble. It's gotten me in trouble. Let me speak for me. When I do, it just gets me in trouble versus when I question and I use my common sense. I would imagine it would be a lot for people too. Caffeine is very beneficial. However, if you're consuming too much caffeine and if you consume it at the wrong times, it can be detrimental to your health instead of beneficial to your health. So how do I consume coffee? I'll be honest with you. If you go back to the very beginning of ER Shred, Crystal was pregnant. I was training for ultra marathons. Things are still nuts in my life. I've just learned to fine tune and get better. The cup that I was holding was actually coffee. I was the guy who could literally drink coffee at 8 o'clock at night and I could go right to sleep. And because I could go right to sleep, I used to think that actually was fine. My caffeine tolerance was just higher than other people's. And while caffeine tolerance is a real thing, and some people are overstimulated while other people are not so stimulated by caffeine, even if you are not caffeine super sensitive, drinking caffeine in the later part of the day or immediately upon waking up can actually screw things up in your natural circadian rhythm. Whoa. I don't want to do that. Your circadian rhythm is your natural time clock that tells your body when to wake up and when to go to sleep. And there are so many things in our environment today that are absolutely destroying that. Overhead lights is one of them. I'm out in my garage and I have to put them on. Typically from 8 o'clock on, I try not to have overhead lights. I try to use red lights. I try to use lamps, something to that nature. Yes, anti-hydrate for sure. Keep drinking it. Getting in natural light first thing in the morning. I learned from this quadruple board certified physician. And one of his board certifications was he was a sleep specialist. And he goes, diet is a huge part, but we're not going to get into all of that because we preach that. And you guys have already experienced some of the amazing health benefits of turning your health around. One of them is sleep. The benefits of sleep is one of the benefits when you say yes and regulate your body. Like, you're not supposed to be wired so late at night. Oh, I'm a night owl. People give me all these freaking excuses. Now, granted, I get there's third shift. And that's different for those people. But those of you that are like, oh, I'm night owl, oh, I'm not a morning person, hogwash. Your DNA is literally set for that. You've just trained your body to be a certain way. And I'm not here to argue with you. You live your best life. I'm just telling you, you're messing with the natural rhythm of your body. And if that's something you want to play with, by all means, go for it. You can balance it out in other ways. For me, I want optimal. Okay. So I'm constantly working on things. So I used to be the guy that woke up first thing in the morning, literally 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I immediately brew a cup of coffee, right? What I've come to realize is that was actually more of a habit than anything else for me. What I've also come to realize is that when you wake up, your cortisol, this is actually where cortisol is good for people. Your cortisol, your insulin, is your cortisol or your insulin? Shit, I forgot. Anyways, it's one of those two. It is supposed to wake you up. It is supposed to wake you up when you wake up. It's supposed to bring you alive, right? So the first thing you want to do is the opposite of the nighttime. You want to flip on as many bright lights as possible. Now, come into contact with one of these overhead lights. You're talking like what's called 300 lux, which is how light is measured. You get something like natural sunlight. You're talking 5,000 lux on a cloudy day, even when you don't think you're getting it, to 10,000 plus on a natural day. So you want to wake up in the morning, get as much light as possible. Sleep is a naturally dehydrating process to the human body. It is naturally dehydrating. You are dehydrated when you wake up from a slumber. Okay, it's just the way that it is. So the first thing that you want to do is actually push your coffee back at least 30 I go 45 minutes from the time that I wake up until I have my first cup of coffee. Now, a lot of times that's 30 minutes because I want the butter and the MCT oil that I'm putting in my coffee. That's my energy without breaking my fasting state to do my intense workout in the morning. So that's my plan. You got to figure out yours, but you want to wait at least 30 minutes. Flip on the lights, wait 30 minutes for the caffeine. I want to put out a challenge for everybody that I want you to start drinking either a scoop of hydrate, a serving of hydrate, first thing in the morning upon awakening. Now, that's going to be really hard for some of you. It actually took me over a week to do it consistently, to get my body prepped and ready. But listen to me, I promise you, it is life-changing. It will wake you up. It will get you back going. Boom, you're there. Now, if you don't want to do hydrate, you can do water. But remember, filtered water, you're filtering the minerals. You're filtering the electrolytes, which is why I don't drink that much plain water anymore. It's always some sort of electrolyte drink for me, or teas or coffees. And when I say electrolytes, you can also... Here's another mixture. Big, tall glass of water, 16 ounces. I want you drinking 16 ounces first thing in the morning, okay? And what you can also do is put a sprinkle of pink Himalayan sea salt in there. Don't be shy. Squeeze some lemon, squeeze some lime, mix that up. If you want, you can even do something like an apple cider vinegar for those of you that want to do that. It's amazing benefits. I'm not going to dive down that hole right now, but you can try that out as well. Again, not during the 11-day shred with the vinegars and stuff, but something like, be careful with the lemons, like really be careful. Like that's probably a no-go on the first 11-day. Just drink your electrolytes. But afterwards, I want to serve all of you. Lemon, lime, pink Himalayan sea salt. That's also an electrolyte drink that you can put into your body to wake yourself up first thing in the morning. So that's how you can benefit. After 3 p.m., that is my hard line, absolute no-go for caffeine. And I've been living that now for a very, very long, not very, very long, but a long time. I cut that out, and it's crazy. Like I still sleep. Like I've always slept, but like there's something different with the way you wake up. Caffeine late at night messes with the natural chemical in your brain that puts you to sleep called melatonin. It's also going to mess with a lot of other things. Caffeine dehydrates you. Caffeine jazzes you up. Too much caffeine, which is the point that I got to, which is why I wasn't so sensitive, which is why I could just keep drinking it. Also, when I drank caffeine, I got tired. What? I literally blew out my adrenal glands. So too much caffeine is not very good. So I had to do a caffeine detox and then bring it back into my life. I find massive benefit with it. Some of you will, some of you won't. It doesn't matter. It's not needed. However, you can utilize it. So that's my tip on caffeine and sleep with that. So overhead lights at nighttime, I learned that literally overhead lights, the second you see overhead lights at night, it switches a natural clock. It literally resets the clock inside your brain, because when you wake up in the morning, your brain is getting alive through, I believe it's either the insulin or the cortisol, I forgot, but I'll look that up for you. Your brain is waking up, and then throughout the day, by the end of the day, your brain is supposed to go to sleep. That's why, most animals, they obviously wake up, they go to bed, like follow nature, you'll be in good check. Okay. So that's that. What the heck was the other thing that I put down here? Hold on one second. Okay, sleep. Oh, the last thing I want to tell you about sleep. This is so fascinating. This is why I love science. Like literally around every corner, around every day, there's always something new. Not even more than 3 weeks ago, there was a brand new discovery of something that happened while we slept. How many of you have ever had a really shitty night's sleep? And I mean, like you toss and turn, you woke up like 3-4 times. Like I've done that a lot now with the baby. And so is Crystal. And, you wake up in the morning and you're just like groggy, you're foggy. It takes you a while to get going. You really never wake up from that until you actually get your sleep. there's a brand new system. I don't know if any of you know anything about Paris, Paris at all, but Paris actually has one of the highest functioning, this is crazy, one of the highest functioning underground sewage systems. It's like architecturally built. It's like it's world renowned. Anyways, your brain has something called the glyphomic system. I knew I was going to forget this word. I think it's called the glyphomic system. It's literally the sewer system of your brain. It only activates when you're asleep. So you go, wait a minute, like by now, after all these years, all these dissections, all these dead bodies, all these autopsies, how do we not know everything about the human body? How are we still learning about new organs and new things and new ways and new systems? Because it only activates when you're sleeping, not when you're dead. So all the autopsies missed it. All the people that were awake and the brain scans and all those fancy things they got now, like it all missed it, and they finally just learned it now with like what's called a PET scan, I believe it's called. That's where they figured out and they found that system. So that system, when you go to sleep, it is responsible for dumping all of the neurological chemicals and toxins that get stored up into your brain. There is not a brain-body barrier like once was thought. It doesn't exist. The blood affects the microbes, the bacteria. So that is your body's chance to wipe it out and get that system clean. So that's when you get a good night's sleep, when you wake up and you feel like, whoa, I feel awesome. Obviously your health, your nutrition, your body, like this all plays a big role, which is why I want to focus on some of this stuff as well, because it's all very, very important. Power of sleep, how to get the most out of your coffee, electrolytes. Okay. And here's what I want to close with, my bonus. The very one thing that you must do to be successful with your health journey. I listen to a lot of self-development podcasts. I've really worked hard on myself. I mean, I've done the work, thousands of hours of listening and studying and crying and asking why and figuring out it wasn't to me, but for me, like been there, like, and here's what I've come to the realization. Every high-level coach that I get to learn from, or that I get to get something from, that teaches high-level athletes, high-level performers, high-level CEOs. There's something that just came out by a mentor of mine, Ed Milet, and it's called the power of one more. And we're not going to get into that whole topic now because it's kind of on it, but it's not. But it's around that. And I've realized that the reason that I'm at where I'm at today is because through all the failures, through all the times of doubting myself, through all the times of feeling I wasn't worth it, to times of feeling that I didn't want to live life anymore, to the depression, to the anxiety, to the childhood traumas, to all the stuff. Like, the one powerful thing is the power of one more. And it's showing up for yourself one more time and just doing the one thing. So I want to take that message and I want to shift it from the meaning of what it's told by Ed to shifting it into your health journey. And for those of you that are just starting off with us, for those of you that are with us for a while and you maybe have hit a plateau, for those of you that have self-sabotaged yourself and thought that it was the end of the road, I just want to encourage you to show up one more time. And when you go to create change, when you go to change, I believe one of the biggest problems that we have today, and I've seen this happen with so many people, more importantly, I've watched myself put myself through absolute misery and hell by doing this throughout my entrepreneurial career, especially when I was younger. I would have these big, fat, juicy, larger than life, audacious goals. I mean, I was comparing myself to the guy who was already 47 years old, who's been through his 20s. Like, here I am at 18, 9, no, not even. I was 20, 21, something like that. I don't know. But I was comparing myself to these people. And for so many years, more years than I'm ashamed to even admit how many years it's taken me to understand this. And I hope that you won't do this. But the problem I think that we have today is we always set these big, fat, audacious goals. Like, let's take it into the health perspective and say somebody says that I need to lose 100 pounds. That is a huge, big, audacious goal to attack. How is it that we're going to lose 100 pounds when the average person struggles to even keep a promise to themselves? The average person struggles with self-confidence. The average person struggles with, comparison syndrome. The average person struggles with fill in the blank. Like, how do we do that? How does somebody get to such a big goal? How do these players get to these elite levels? How do these executives get to these levels? Like what separates them from me and you and anyone else? Like, what separates them? And through all of my learning, through people like Brendan Burchard and Ed Milet and Tony Robbins, and you see, I've learned not to just dive into all of one. Like, I used to get so excited about one person, and I'm like, wait a minute, everybody's got their pieces, right? And I learned to create the Jesse piece. So what I've come to learn is not only do they just do one more rep in the gym, one more email, one more contact for business, one more phone call, one more I love you to their kids, one more extra. Not only do they do that, but what they do is they've learned, and this is the important part, they've learned how to hyper focus in on the goal. And when you hyper focus in, you set that big, fat, audacious goal, and then you set it and you forget it. You don't just forget it like it's gone, like it doesn't exist, but you set it and you forget it. Because what I've come to realize is that if you try to do everything at once, if you try to just go all out and change everything, the chances of you succeeding are statistically 4%. This is actually true statistics, 4%. If you hyper focus and you try to do one thing at a time, and that's it, your chances, excuse me, your chances of success go up to 78%. 78%. The second you bring in something else besides one and you make it two, your chances of success drop down to 46%. So you've got to learn to hyper focus. So you hyper focus on the 11-day, and that's what you focus on. You don't try to focus on changing everything about your life. You just focus on the 11-day. You don't try to change everything. And after the 11-day, when you bring stuff back in, how can we add this into our protocol? You don't just go all out. You come back slow. And, there's all sorts of different stuff out there that says, it takes 21 days to form a habit. It takes, 30 days. I got taught 66. Why? It's an easy number to remember. It's very realistic. Very doable. It's just over 2 months. So when you commit to the ER shred lifestyle, living the shredder life, whether this is shred 1 or shred 4 or shred 12, you're committing to just one new thing. And if you look at the people who have had the most success with the ER shred, the people who have been with us from that very first October and have come all the way through till today, they have literally focused on one new thing until they got it. And then they added another, and then they added another. And if they tried something that didn't work, they pulled it back, they evaluated, they added one thing, they focused it in, they brought back to the basics, they tried it again. That is what this is all about. That is the number one thing that is going to get you to where you need to get to. You just got to keep doing one more thing. And don't worry about changing everything at one time. Don't worry about all of the hoopla. Don't worry about all the freaking white noise that's coming in from the outside. It's easy to get distracted by all of that shit. It is so easy to get distracted. Hyper focus on what it is, what that goal is, what is going to move your needle one step closer to the bigger goal by the end of this week. What is that one thing? That one thing that moves you forward at the end of the week can either be mastered or you might need to put in a little bit more. You evaluate, you put in more, you master it, you add one more. You don't forget the thing that you're doing. You continue to bring that with you as you add and add and add. And that's the beautiful part of where I've looked at my entire life. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've been building the ultimate pile of beef nachos without the nacho chips. Like I've been layering the guacamole avocado. I've been layering the veggies. I've been layering the meat. I've been layering the butter. I've been layering the broth. I've been layering I've been layering the layers. And if you just keep layering the layers, you're ultimately going to have a big, fat, juicy brisket of layers. That's your layers, your individual layers of life that make you thrive, that make you feel amazing, that make you just attack life. Okay, so that's the one thing, right? Show up one more day. If you feel like quitting, congratulations. Welcome to the club. Can't tell you how many times I felt like quitting in business, in life, in relationships, in endeavors. But you know what? I just showed up the next morning. I just kept showing up. Like I am a stubborn son of a bitch. I won't go away. I just keep showing up. And if you just keep showing up for yourself, if you just calm down and do the work and take the knowledge and apply it all, you are amazing. I don't give a shit what's happened in your life. You are amazing. You are not your past. But you can't just speak it. You have to actually do it. Your actions. So show up for yourself, do that one thing, just keep sticking to it. All right, guys, appreciate your time. That's it. That's all I got for you tonight. If you have any questions, drop them into the comments. If you got something out of this, drop it in. Let me know what it is that you received from that information. Is there any tips and tricks that you feel you can bring into your life? Please, please, please do me a favor. Tag your teammates. We need more people to hear these. I'm going to be committed now that I got a little bit more figured out to start dropping in what I'm going to just call 5 to 10 with Jesse J. I don't know. We'll think about something, but we're going to think of that. Just quick little 5 to 10 things, 5 to 10 minutes of little tidbits, all these little tips and tricks. I mean, I have hundreds of these things that I do on a daily basis. So electrolytes, really important. Sleep, really important. Don't make up excuses. Get it done. Show up for yourself one more time. Do the coffee trick. Give yourself that permission. I promise you, if you add these into everything else, it's going to, over time, change your life. So hope you all have an amazing night. Please join us tomorrow night for Shred Your Testimonial at 8 o'clock. We will see you then. Bye-bye.